guys, welcome to MISH. I'm glad that you guys are able to move with me today. Today is going to be a full body exercise. It's going to be less than 30 minutes, but it is going to be intense if that's what you guys are looking for. So today I'm calling it full body slides because you will be sliding along the floor using either sliders or 2 dish towels if you have any. If you are on a rug or a carpeted area, you can always use like 2 paper towels too. That kind of slides along the floor a little bit more. Magazines, whatever, that's slippery, slidey. Or even just wear 2 slippery socks, regardless of the surface you are, and that would generally let you slide a little bit more too for that control that we want. So today we're going to be working on a lot of lunges, a lot of planks, focusing on those abs, and then an additional just bonus round of arms and shoulders in the end. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, and you do want more continued Pilates or lifestyle wellness videos later on, please hit subscribe so that it'll help me learn what you guys like as well. But regardless, let's get started. All right, so you got those 2 towels or discs or whatever you guys have. Put that to the side. We're going to sit on our butt cross-legged. Roll your shoulders back, shake it off if you need to. It's gonna start some breathing. You're gonna wrap your hands around your rib cage. So 4 fingertips in front, thumbs in the back. You can even close your eyes if you want to. Let's go some big breaths. Inhale, feel the rib cage really widen apart. And then exhale, draw the rib cage back in towards the center. A few more times. Inhale, stretch out those muscles in those rib cages. And then exhale, expel all the air out, bring the rib cage even closer together. Few more. Inhale. And then exhale, feel that waistline narrow in. Inhale. And exhale. All right, for the last exhale, let's shake it off. Let's get one of the dish towels that you have. We're gonna do some origami. So you're gonna widen it out, roll it around. So it's like one long strap. So each of your hands are gonna hold on to it. Once you got there, you are going to sit on your tailbone. You might even wanna get rid of some fleshy part if you want to. So you're really sitting higher in those sits bones. And then you're gonna extend those arms out long, holding onto the end of the dish towels. Feet are grounded on towards the floor with a really long and tall spine. Tuck that pelvis. You're gonna roll yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time for that C curl. Hold at the bottom and roll yourself back up. You're gonna roll yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. Really maintain that C curl. Bring that belly button up and in towards that sternum. Hold at the bottom, and then exhale as you roll yourself back up. Keeping those arms straight. Using that towel to even use as feedback to keep that ribcage really closed in. So you're constantly pulling those 2 towels apart, keeping those abs active. Really great. Can you keep breathing as you're going with this? You're exhaling as you're rolling yourself down. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale as you roll yourself back up. Really good. Just a few more times here. Learn to really articulate that spine, really slow motion. Again, roll your shoulders out if you need to. You're going to hold at the bottom, maintain that C curl. You're going to lift those arms up towards your ears and bring it down. Up towards those ears and bring it down. Nothing else moves here. You should even feel that little of a shake of those upper abs every time you lift those arms up. Every time you lift your arms up, make sure those shoulders are not reaching up towards your ears, but it's grounded down towards your rib cage. Really great. Again, make sure that those abs are not pouching up. Keep those heels really grounded, getting out of those hip flexors. A few more. You're gonna hold those arms out long. Hold. Can you pulse your abs up and up? So it's not really of a bounce. Can you really bring that rib cage closer toward those hip bones? So really bringing those two bony landmarks together, which means you have to bring those abs in even more to make a little bit of room. It's a little bit more of a conscious pulse than just a bounce, which is just gonna be on your hip flexors anyways. This is your last before a quick break. Keep breathing. And then roll yourself back up. You can shake it out like I did if you need to. All right, one more. You're gonna bring your arms out long. Let's go back into that C curl. From here, your right leg lifts up to tabletop, and then the left leg comes up to tabletop. I like to even tap my shin towards that towel every time. If you want to advance, you can even bring both legs up to tabletop and just tap one leg at a time, barely touching the floor. It's a little bit more of a marching sensation, so this will be a little bit more challenging. Still balancing on those sits bones, maintain that rounded back and that C curl in. Using those lower abs to move those legs. The next time your right leg is up in tabletop, can you hold? You are going to rotate your thoracic spine towards the right. Sweeping those hands towards the right. If you again want to challenge yourself, you can bring both legs up in tabletop and maintain that as you rotate. A little bit more pelvic stability there. I'm just going to keep my left leg down and just focus on keeping my hips really stable. Can you hold that rotation and hold? Again, let's go with some pulses. You're going to pulsing up and up. Keeping that left hip really heavy so it does not lift up with you. Really imagine that you're bringing that left shoulder closer towards the right hip. This is your last. And bring it back up. Round it back, shake it off. And then let's go back into that C curl. We're going to go back into the left side. Left leg is in tabletop. Rotate towards the left. Only rotating from your thoracic spine, not your hips. Again, if you want to advance this, you can always bring both legs up in tabletop here. Again, I'm going to keep my right leg just down to really focus on my right hip grounding down on towards the floor. Slow and steady is really key here. Can you hold? Rotate towards the left, hold. Pulsing up and pulsing up. Really great. This time, really bring the right shoulder closer towards the left hip, but keeping that right hip really, really heavy. Last one. Bring it towards center. Roll yourself back up. Give yourself a little wave if you want to. Roll your shoulders, your necks. All right, good with that warm up. Let's fold the mat halfway so that you have a little bit more of that hard surface or the carpet surface or whatever you have. And now I'm just gonna fold the rag halfway or quadruple, whatever that fits your foot. And then from there, let's go on a plank. Hands are gonna be on the matted surface. You can always go on your forearms here if you want to, as well as a full arm plank. Your right foot will be on that slidey thing. So once you're on that plank, whatever it is, you are going to abduct that right leg out 1 inch and bring it back in. Or you know what? It's more like 4 inches out and bring it back in. So you're just sending the right leg out to the side and bring it back in. So you have to use your obliques to really pull it back in every time. Make sure those shoulders are over those hands, that you're really squeezing those abs up and in so it's not falling down towards the floor and squeezing those glutes. The next time you're on that plank, can you send the right knee in towards your right elbow and send it out. Right knee in towards your right elbow. Again, focusing on your right obliques. Keep breathing. Next time, let's bring the right knee towards the left elbow into a twist and bring it back in. Right knee in towards left elbow and bring it back in. Really great. All right, let's kick that rag towards the other side, towards the left leg. And then you are, oh my gosh, I totally screwed up the order. You're just gonna bring the left leg out to the side and bring it back in. Left leg out and bring it back in. Obviously, I just wanted to get this over with. Still lifting those abs, guys. And then when you're ready, you're gonna bring that left knee in towards that left elbow and bring it back in. Left knee in towards left elbow, bring it back in, focusing on that left oblique. Still, let's make sure that the shoulders are over those hands. You're only looking a few inches in front of your fingertips as well to keep the back of the neck long. And then let's go into that twist. Left knee towards right elbow, twisting your body and bring it back in. You're almost there. And bring it back in. Woo! Shake it off. Really good. So we have to readjust that rag if you need to. We are going to stand up. We're going to go into some lunging series, starting with your right leg first. Again, so left foot is grounded down on the mat, so a little bit of padding. Have your hands by your hips. Step on the rag with your right foot. Can you send it back as you bend down in your left leg? You are in a lunge. So right leg is super long. As you send it out, leaning a few inches forward. Press in towards that left heel to bring yourself back up. Making sure that left knee is always over that left heel. It's not going forward towards those toes. You can even add some arm movements here as well, shining those arms up towards the ears every time you sit into a lunge, pulling it back towards your hips every time you stand up. Really great. A lot of movement. You're going to hold that lunge and hold. Left knee is still grounded over your left heel. Can you just scooter the right knee in and right knee out? Right knee in and right knee out. So a ton of weight on that left foot. Again, you can add some arm movement here as bring your elbows in every time your knee comes in. Keep lifting those abs up away from those thighs. Really narrowing that waistline, narrowing that rib cage. Can you hold that lunge and hold? Have your hands by your hips once again. And you are going to lean forward, pitching yourself forward and bring it back up. So you're just hinging at your hips every time you lean forward and up. You're going to feel a little bit more pressure, a little bit more weight on that left foot every time you lean forward. That is the key here. Always maintain that diagonal, keeping that back of the neck really long. Can you hold that diagonal? Hold. Let's bring that left heel up and lower down. Left heel up and lower down. Really great. I even poke my glutes sometimes. Make sure it's rock hard. It usually is, guys. And then bring it back in. All right, you're going to bring your hands towards the floor. You're going to hook your left leg over your right leg. And let's go into some snake planks. You're going to use your abs to bring the knees in and out. Knees in and out. Again, that left leg is hooked over that right leg, and you are using your abs to move it in and out. Keeping your shoulders over those hands, guys. You're almost there. Exhale every time you draw those knees in. That'll help. All right, and then we're going to go back into a plank. Right leg is still on that towel. You're going to cross it over, just like we did earlier, and open up the left arm up towards the ceiling, more into like a star. So every time you cross your right leg over towards your left, you are going to open up your left arm, looking up towards the ceiling. I even sometimes feel a nice release over my left side here as well every time I go into a star. But of course, everybody's different. And then let's bring it back in. Oof, that was a lot, yeah? You can even come into a child's pose quick. Shake it off. And just know that you have to do the same thing on the other side. So let's stand back up, shake it off, shake your legs off if you need a little bit more blood flow flowing on. You're going to step your right foot on the mat. Your left foot will this time be on that towel, that disc, whatever. Have your hands by your side. You're leaning yourself forward. Can you straighten out that left leg out, bending on your right leg into that lunge? Press in towards that right heel to pull yourself back up. So same movement, different side. Really feel that hinge of your right hips every time you extend out and back in. Making sure that right knee is only over that right heel again. If you want to add those arms as well, go for it. Shining those arms up towards your ears every time that left leg goes back. Bring your hands towards your hips every time you come up. So just to add a little bit more coordination. And also feel that lengthening of that spine and all your limbs away from each other. Let's hold that lunge. And you're going to bring that left knee in and left knee out into that scooter. Again, there's a ton of weight on that right heel, so that right glute should be working like crazy. If you want to add those arm movement here as well in coordination, go for it. Right elbows in towards that left knee and sending it back out. Keep those abs lifted, keep those rib cage really closed and keeping that core strong. That way you're not really getting into your lower back and you're really focusing on those glutes that you want to focus on. Can you hold that lunge? Left leg is super straight. Have your hands by your hips. You are leaning forward, hinging at your hips, and bring it back up into a diagonal. Leaning forward and bring it back in. Putting a little bit more weight on towards that right heel every time you lean forward. You're almost there. You are going to hold with that lean forward motion. Bring that right heel up and lower it down. Right heel up and lower down. You should feel a little bit more quads here as well, of course, your ankles and your calves. This is your final variation, and you know what's coming up. You got to bring your hand on towards the mat. Hook your right foot over that left. So now you're in a full plank, and you're going to bring the knees in and out. Again, we call this snake plank in Pilates term. Using those abs to really pull those knees in and send it out. Really slow it down every time you extend those legs out long. That's where the control really happens. Great work. All right, we're gonna hold into that plank. Unhook those feet, and this time your left foot is gonna go towards your right. Open up that arm, that right arm up towards the ceiling to look up and bring it back in. So now you are in that star. Feeling those obliques twist once more. Keeping the bottom obliques really lifted the entire time. This is your last variation here. And then bring it back in. Another child's pose. Great work. You should be sweating now because I totally am. We're going to finish off with a final plank where we're going to focus on our shoulders and our arms. So now this is when you get the two towels or two discs. All right, so you're going to flip around, have your knees this time on the padded surface to help out a little bit more with any knee sensitivity. Your hands are now going to be grounded down on each of the sliding materials. Keep those shoulders over those hands. Shine those hips forward so you're in a diagonal from your knees towards the crown of your head. So you want a modified plank. And from here, can you send the left arm out a few inches and bring it back in underneath your shoulders. Send it out and in. So you're abducting those arms out and using your core to bring it back in. This is super challenging. And from here, keep the left arm grounded. Now let's send the right arm out and send it back in. Right arm out and send it back in. So you're in a modified plank this entire time. So you should really keep those abs really lifted up and in towards the sternum so that you're not just collapsing in towards your lower back. Let's switch it up. Your left arm's gonna go towards your ears, extend it forward, back in, right arm out, and bring it back in. Really great. If this feels good, every time you send one arm out, can you have a little bit of a tricep press on that other arm? Lowering your body a little bit more every time because of that tricep press. arms are one of those places that I really need to work on personally here as well. So this is just me adding this bonus round for my sake and for everyone as well. I know it's super challenging, but this is the final exercise. All right, almost done. So of course you guys add some doubles, yeah? So you're gonna separate those arms out to the side at once, add a little bit of a wide push up, and then use your core to pull it back in. This one is super challenging. Whew. Yeah. Again, keep those abs, to use that core to help you bring it in. Try not to sink in the shoulders like I do. Really great. And that was the final exercise. I know it's crazy. All right, let's go into a quick child's pose. Send your right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring it underneath your left shoulder. Give it a little twist. And let's do the other side as well. Left arm up. Bring it back down into a twist underneath your right shoulder. And then shake it off. Get rid of those sliding discs. You're done with that. We're just going to go into stretch. Let's unfold that mat so you have a little bit more surface area once again. We're gonna start with the Eve's lunge. So right leg steps forward, making sure that right knee is over that right heel. Keep that left leg back and you're gonna sit into it, which then you're gonna feel that left quad and that left hip flexor really open up. You can even add a little bit of a side bend here as well if you want. And then once you're back into center, add a little hamstring stretch by sitting back on towards your heels, flexing that right toes towards your nose here. Let's switch your sides. So this time, left leg steps forward, stretching out that right quads and that right hip flexors. Make sure those hips are square here as well to really make sure you get the most out of the stretch. And then let's go into a hamstring stretch, sitting back. This time the left toes is going towards your nose. And then let's add some side body stretches. So you're gonna sit on your knees. You're gonna hold one wrist with the other hand. Really grow tall before you side bend up and over. And then let's switch your hands. The other hand over the other wrist. Grow tall up and over before you lean towards the other side. Whew. This time you can even bring your left arm over towards your right shoulder. Really pull it in with your opposite elbow. Look towards your shoulder. And then let's switch those arms. And then let's bring your hands, clasp your hands behind your hips. And you're gonna send it back as you look back, up and over, opening up those shoulders. And then for a final thing, bring your hands behind your head. Nod a few inches forward to look down towards your knees. You should bring it back up, shake it off, and you guys are good to go. Great work. See you next time.